Hi, I'm Nathan. I go by Peteparker, and every week I do reviews mostly on Marvel comic books so that I can continue to buy them because that's the rule at my house. This review is going to be on FF number 1, or not number 1, pardon me, number 2 of the series. FF stands for Future Foundation. You get a nice Doctor Doom cover there. This is by Jonathan Hickman and Steve Epting. So let's get into what happens. So the last issue, the very end of the last issue, Valeria decided that behind the rest of the team's back that she would talk her father into inviting Doom to be a part of the team so that they can actually help Doom recover from his mental problems. He recently had a lot of his mind wiped out, and so they're going to go about fixing it so that Doom will in turn help her do what she wants to do. So of course the members of the Fantastic Four are not cool with that. They're pretty upset in general, but they're willing to follow the smart guys' leads. There's a lot of smart guys on the team, and they mention that in here. You got Spider-Man and Reed Richards and Dragon Man and Valeria, and then all those like hyper-evolved moloids and people from the Antarctic Circle. So there's all kinds of super smart people on the team, and because of that, you get a little bit of Thing and Sue Storm kind of talking about how they have to figure out new places or what their places are on the team now that everybody's so smart or whatever, which is kind of interesting. You know, it's a different dynamic. It's a very different team altogether. But anyway, they figure out that they need a backup of Doom's brain to restore the parts that are missing, so they go to Latveria, where Doom had previously downloaded a copy of his mind into his progeny, or his the guy that was going to take his place, Christophe Bernard, and he does in a bunch of different alternate futures. So they're going to transfer the parts of Doom's backup copy of his brain from Christophe's brain back into Doom's brain to restore him to what he was before. And there's a handful of really great moments in here. Of course, at the very end, they reveal that once Doom is restored, what Valeria's ultimate plan was, and that was to have Doom help them take down her father, which sounds really menacing, but then you get kind of a treat. You get a little preview of the next issue on the cover in the back, and kind of puts you to rest a little bit. At least it did me. So I want to go over some of the points in this book. Again, the art is really good, which is not surprising. Steve Epting is pretty routinely awesome. There are some interesting choices that I think he made. Check out this one with Thing's face right there. How he has one eye really open and one eye doesn't even look like it's there. So that's kind of interesting, right? I guess that's his crazy face. He's going crazy mad because Doom is on the team. But I still think you would see more white in the other eye. Maybe it's the angle or the light or something, but it seems really weird that he's got one eye or that he's like, like that. So that was interesting. I was also trying to figure out, probably like many other people, whether or not Doom's outfit was matching the Future Foundations or not at the beginning. If you look here, it looks really white and blue and gray and black, and they're all in black and white now. We'll talk more about this scene in a second. But later on, it turns out that he's not actually wearing those colors. So I think like he was, but then he changed when they got to Latveria later on, or maybe it's just the lighting, or maybe he's wearing white the whole time. But that seems awfully weird. It doesn't seem like Doom is the type of person that goes, oh, everybody's wearing black and white? You want me to wear black and white? That's cool. I don't think so. I don't think he would change his colors just to be on the team, even if they were restoring his brain. So that scene also, I'll give you another shot of that. It's right here. That's actually Sue Storm using her powers to stop them from fighting each other in the house. Right down there, she says, not in the house, or whatever, like an angry mom, of course. But look at the posture that Ben is in right over Doom, and look at Doom's posture. That's like pretty close to be in that situation I don't get what they're trying to do to each other. I guess Ben was just going to belly flop on him, or Doom was going to put his arm up or something. Because they're really, neither one of them are in any position to, like, continue a fight. Nobody's about to land a punch or a knee or anything. It's all, like, weird. But it's a really cool scene, I think, because it shows how powerful Sue Storm really is. And then it was cool how the Moloids were surprised that Spider-Man was smart. They expected him to be dumb, you know, because of all his wisecracking and whatnot. And then there's a really good scene here where Reed Richards thinks about for a second actually purging Dr. Doom's brain altogether, but he looks over at his father, and his father gives him the look like, what do you think you're doing? You're a good guy. You can't do that. And so he picks the right thing anyway. And then, of course, Doom is restored with all his magic powers and stuff. That's awesome. Doom is awesome when he's a real threat. When he's not really a threat, he's not really that cool anymore. I used to think he was really lame and people gave him too much credit, but now that he's really, like, hyper-developed his sorcery aspect along with his technological ability, it's really made him a more interesting character in general. So the big reveal is that Doom agreed to help Valeria take down her father, which would be a big deal if they were really meaning her father right there. But if you check out the cover for the next issue, this is all of these in the background are versions of Reed Richards from alternate universes who had gotten together to try to do everything that they want to do. Solve everything is their thing. So they figured one smart man can't solve the world's problems, so a whole cadre of smart men could do it together, which is really awesome. That's probably my favorite story that Hickman has written so far, so I'm really glad that they're going to be going back to that. And he showed a couple issues ago, I guess in Fantastic Four, not FF obviously, that Valeria went and visited she found her father's little secret passage to this place where all of these alternate universe Reeds were gathering, and she went and saw him and talked to him and stuff, and then came back, and that's when she went to get Doom. So I guess that's what they're really gonna go do. But that's awesome, because I just think there are a few instances in the Marvel multiverse where a hero has gotten together with alternate universe versions of himself to try to solve problems that he himself can't do on his own. Spider-Man did it, although it was kind of like a dream when the 616 Spider-Man went and visited it, and it turned out not to be a dream, but you know, that's all. It was in an annual a while back, I think. It was actually in Marvel Comics Presents, the newest series, like 1 or 2, somewhere around there. And then, of course, there was the alternate universe Kangs who all get together, the Council of Cross-Time Kangs, and now there's also the Reed Richards group that's from across all the realities. I really think that's an interesting idea, and I would like to see, you know, how many of these different groups actually exist, you know, whether or not there's a bunch of things out there who had gotten the idea of getting together or whatever. Doesn't make a lot of sense there, because I don't think, well, maybe there's a couple things out in the multiverse that are smart enough to put together something like that, but it would be really interesting to see how many of those really exist, because then you have other things like the Thor Corps and the Nova Corps who could be doing that same thing, but you don't really, you know, they don't ever go into that specifically. But really, you know, what's the difference between, oh, the Captain Britain Corps, that's the other people who are all alternate universe Captain Britons, and they're probably the first ones, I think, to do it, but, you know, who knows? I haven't thought about it that much. But that's my favorite story from Hickman so far, and I'm really glad that they're going back to it next issue. So I gave this issue a 4 out of 5. I almost gave it a 3 out of 5, but I felt it was better than that. I guess 3.5 out of 5 is really where it's at. But 4 out of 5 is pretty good, because the story is really developing. You get Doom coming back to what he was before, which is great, and then a lot of little stuff here and there that's good, and the art's good too. So I'm really enjoying this story. This is the story that I want to read about the Fantastic Four Now the Future Foundation, not the one that's happening in Ultimate Spider-Man, or not Ultimate, Amazing Spider-Man, excuse me. So I'm glad. I'm going to definitely keep picking this up without really picking up the other one. You can check out my other reviews by following me on YouTube, or you can check out Comic Vine or Marvel Database or iFanboy. Just look for any reviews posted by Peteparker, all one word. Only the first is capitalized, so that's me. Thanks for listening, and we'll talk to you next time.